What's up, guys? Before we get to this week's Smackdown review, which was honestly and easily one of the worst shows I have ever seen when it comes to Smackdown, and this was a supposed go-home show to the Royal Rumble. But before we get to this review, and there's a lot to say for January 24th, 2020, I wanted to reach out to some fans that were in attendance in Dallas and in that arena for SmackDown last night to see if the way we were feeling at home was the same feeling inside that arena. It was really cool that a lot of people I reached out to, they actually called into the show this morning. Hopefully they're still there. So before we start this review, I want to take some phone calls and see what these individuals, which again, they were in Dallas at SmackDown last night. I want to see what they thought about the atmosphere. First up on the line, I believe this is WWE superfan Hank Henderson. Hank, are you there? Hank.
BC, it's me, Hank Henderson.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, Hank. How was the atmosphere last night, Hank?
I was there live, BC.
Yeah, I know. How was the
I
atmosphere?
was there live.
Hank, hold on. How was the atmosphere at SmackDown?
BC, can you hear me? I was there. I was there live.
Yeah, no, I totally hear you, Hank. How was the atmosphere last night?
I was there live, BC.
Hank, how was the atmosphere, I'm asking?
Oh, BC, you don't even know. I took my family. Little Steve needs 6 cavities. We took that money to go to WWE, and it was horrible. So we left more miserable than when we showed up, and we still can't pay for little Steve's 6 cavities. It was horrible. We thought we were going to a wrestling show, BC, and ended up turning into a Sleepy's mattress outlet. Human beings sleeping everywhere. It was horrible. Who would do such a thing, BC?
Vince McMahon, Hank. Vince McMahon, you know that.
Oh, that man needs to go. Like yesterday. G-O. Hell, capital G-O. Get that man out of there, BC.
I agree, Hank. We got another caller, Hank, though. It's very...
What the hell?
Hold on, Hank. We got it.
I was there live.
Hank, hold on. We got an important...
BC, I was there live.
Hank, shut up! We got an important caller. This is Lacey Evans' sister, Lacey Evans. Stacy was there. Stacy, you're on the line. Stacy.
Oh, BC, you have no idea. I was there to support my sister, and I wanted to. I was just so bored. I started snoozing several times. In fact, at one point, I snoozed right into my nachos. Oh, BC, all over my white blouse and my bosoms looked like street cones. I think people were pointing and laughing at me. The entire crowd, BC, was crying. And not because of my sister's emotional speech, but just because of how bad it was.
Stacey Evans, how was the atmosphere last night?
BC, it was just bad. It was really, really bad, BC. I thought I would be entertained, or at the very least be hanging on every word my sister was saying, but every word she would speak, I was that much closer, BC, to Snoozy Land. You know what I mean, BC, when you just want to enter Snoozy Land, like watching any regular Raw episode. But I really had expectations for this one, BC. They didn't deliver. Who would do such a thing, BC? Who would put together such a bad show, BC?
The old man in Stamford, Connecticut, Stacy. Vince.
BC, this should never happen again. Somebody needs to do something, BC.
I agree, Stacey Evans. Thank you so much for calling up, Stacy. I appreciate it.
All right, BC. You call me when you get lonely, BC.
All right,
You call me.
Stacy, hold on. That was one night. We're not going to tap into that. One more phone call here, guys. That's my local pizza delivery guy, Luigi Lugnuts. Luigi, you on? Luigi.
Yes, BC. It's me, Luigi. Do you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear, Luigi.
Oh, BC, it was not good, my friend. It was not good at all. I took care of 17 deliveries in a 2.5-hour period so I can catch the WWE. And BC, let me tell you, I don't know if you've ever delivered a pizza, but here's the process. You drive around for a half an hour just to find some goofball's house in the middle of nowhere, a remote dungeon, BC. Just for him to show up in his boxers with a $20 bill on a $19 order, and he says, you can keep the dollar, buddy. Oh, thank you so much. That dollar is going to get me back home almost. So I do this 17 times, BC, but I'm able to catch WWE and I'm thrilled. At first, BC, but then, oh, my friend BC, no, in 20 minutes, I am bored. So in 30 minutes, BC, I am angry. And in 40 minutes, BC, I am sleeping. I'm literally sleeping. I don't wake up until the show is half over, BC, and a little fat kid is throwing popcorn at my head. This is a true story, BC. I woke up to a fat kid throwing popcorn at my head. It was at that point, BC, I felt my feet on the cement, and I thought if I just hit my head on the cement, the misery will be over.
No, we don't, no, Luigi, no, Luigi, we don't want to go to self-harm, man. Listen, those were just some phone calls from people that were there last night. Let's get to the review, guys. I'm gonna have a sip of coffee, and we're gonna talk all about this. Thank you to all the callers. Sip of coffee, we'll go over this show. All right, let's do this. So we started off the show with a nonsensical six-man schmaz match. That's Robert Roode, Dolph Ziggler, Baron Corbin versus the Usos and Roman Reigns. Literally zero excitement. Just like a few weeks ago, just like last week, and just like this week. And the Usos, they return to be in the shadow of Roman Reigns. Does nobody find a problem with that? BC, they're thrusted into this main event type situation with Roman. That's the best case for them. Is it? Or should they be standing on their own and not being the background for the main actors? Should they be maybe main players themselves? This is all helping out Roman exponentially. The Usos? What is it doing? Are they getting a rub? The Usos were some bodies anyway. They come back and this is all to pump up what? Roman and Baron Corbin. Why is Roman Reigns double dipping at the Royal Rumble? He has a match, one-on-one with Baron, Falls Count Anywhere, and then he has the Royal Rumble match. But Brock Lesnar isn't held up to that standard? The champion of the world doesn't have to defend his championship. He doesn't have to double dip, but Roman does. I'm asking simplistic questions, and nobody has the answers. Instead, I'm really negative. I gotta stop critiquing this too much. I'm overanalyzing it. Am I, or am I just asking the most logical, common-sensed questions, or at least to me? So we get this matchup with zero excitement for me. I mean, this is just... you had a little bit of good wrestling toward the end. Okay, I can see that at the local bingo hall with Billy Buttfuck McGee and Danny Dipshit Dugenheimer. They put on 60-minute classics. That'll put this to shame. After over 25 minutes, well, first of all, Jimmy Uso, he gets a storyline leg injury during this thing, so he goes away, and then he comes back after 15 minutes. He wipes everyone out the ring, basically, and he gets the win for his team. Jimmy Uso returns to the match, lays everyone out, and he's the one who collects the W, and that's only because Roman Reigns ended up taking Baron Corbin into the crowd to give you guys the sense of how it's going to be Sunday night, because it's Falls Count Anywhere. So they wanted to show you that Roman and Baron are fighting into the crowd. That's the only reason one of the Usos even got the pin. Roman was occupied trying to do something else to show you what Sunday night is going to be like. Trust me, this company's agenda is so obvious and horrible. Oh, when you talk about flaws, man, they have them tenfold. Nobody puts thought into any of this. So the whole first half an hour of this show is just for what? The Usos get no shot. What are they getting? They had a wrestling match with Dolph and Robert Roode. Does that honestly excite you for the go-home show to Royal Rumble? Honestly. Because I'm sure somebody's out there going, BC, I didn't mind this. I would have not liked this on an average SmackDown, but this is your go-home show to the Rumble. Need a half an hour to pump up Corbin and Roman. Come on, bro! Next up, Michael Cole is doing an interview with Lacey Evans, the sister of Stacey Evans. And this is at the top of the ramp, and I kid you not, it was one of, if not the most cringiest promo I have ever heard in my lifetime watching pro wrestling. Legit. I can't even make that up. She went on, and on, and on, repeating time after time after time about how she wants to be a role model and a big influence to her daughter and to everyone around the world. How she wants to be an inspiration to everyone. Cried. She literally cried 3 different times in this one promo. If this is not somebody trying to sell, give me sympathy, I don't know what is. And it's just being so badly forced upon us. This is somebody who was just the evil Southern Belle just weeks ago. And now all of a sudden, she's this big role model inspiration in tears. This Marine is in tears over what Bayley is doing. It's just so odd. It happens so unnaturally. And I hope people that don't have a problem with this, Lacey Evans, I hope you understand why we do have a problem. It happens so unnaturally. There was no story told accurately as to why she made the full throttle turn to begin with. And then all within just a few weeks, she's now all of a sudden this teary-eyed, inspirational guru hoorah speecher? Come on, bro. I'm just thinking about things in a logical, common sense term of way. I'm only going to suspend my disbelief so much. My bar is raised for this company because it is a billion-dollar company that should be doing much better than it is. I'm not going to hold them to a half-status standard. You might, I won't. This was a cringy promo. Thankfully, Bayley comes out of nowhere from behind, or not out of nowhere, she came from the back. They were up at the ramp, Lacey staring out the ring, and Bayley just attacks her from behind. Thankfully, they kind of battle into the backstage area, and thankfully this takes us to commercial, where we all have 3 minutes to put our dome pieces through the nearest wall closest to us. If you were able to get your head out of that wall after 3 minutes, I wish I could tell you it got any better, but I can't tell you that. At this point, we were 50 minutes into the program, and this show absolutely sucked. But wait, there's more, and this is just the first hour. That's right, it gets worse. Alexa Bliss comes to the ring with fireworks. That's right, Alexa has fireworks. Why? It's Alexa Bliss. She doesn't have the talent or the skill that deserves fireworks. Maybe Charlotte, you can see that, but Alexa Bliss gets them. Somebody told me, multiple people told me that they saw Carmella just a few weeks ago with pyro. So you're telling me at this rate, by February 1st, every single blonde in that company will have pyro. That doesn't tell you who Vince McMahon loves in that company. Open your minds up. And who was upright in this match with Alexa? Mandy Rose. He always wants to execute them, always, in the highest of regards. And this was Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Yay! No? If you blinked, it was over. Don't worry. 17 seconds was the length of this match. 17 seconds. Lacey Evans and Bayley end up entering the ring, and they're still engulfed in their fight, so somehow that leaked into the ring. They just took the story that they always give the 24/7 title, and that whole shindig with R-Truth, they just did that with Bayley and Lacey. They had them leak into a match, and in 17 seconds, all of the ladies were just brawling, supposedly to symbolize what's going to happen at the Royal Rumble. Whoa! The creativity in this company through the roof! Oh, I can't even. Luckily, thankfully, we were an hour closer to getting this over with. Hour number 2 starts off just as bad as hour number 1. Elias tags up with Braun Strowman, who tried some karaoke with Elias or some shit before the match started. Braun Strowman went to do some singing. Can you turn this guy more into a circus freak than he already is? It's like every week Vince McMahon tries to top himself on how much he can ruin Braun Strowman, how much he can turn him into a circus freak. This guy is an absolute joke at this point. Luckily, Cesaro and Shinsuke stopped that with the quickness, thankfully, but unfortunately, we ended up getting another nonsensical tag match. We get a stupid match that nobody cares about once again. Elias and Strowman defeating Cesaro and Nakamura. There's nothing else I need to tell you about this other than your IC champion Shinsuke Nakamura ate the L in this one. That's right. That's your champion, everybody. Eating another loss. Up next, Kofi Kingston versus John Morrison. Finally, a match I didn't mind seeing. Just one-on-one, 2 good wrestlers. Is that so much to ask? Why does everything have to be a tag team match these days? Or a 6-man tag match every other match? Why? They're so nonsensical, man. It's not going to lead to anything of creativity. Nothing that we're going to get invested into. We might see some good wrestling in a 6-man tag match. Okay, again, I can see that for 3 hours straight at the local bingo hall every Friday and Saturday night. Unreal. You know, there's a tease. Kenny Omega teased in AEW about having a three-persons championship belt, like a trios championship. Oh, please do not start that. We are going to have a 6-man tag match literally every other match. Anyway, that was the whole tag. Where are we even at? At this point, we literally have reached our main event. I cannot even kid you. This is the Rumble Go-Home show. And it has produced nothing of importance, significance, or anything to get us excited for Sunday night. Main event is actually a contract signing. It's not even a wrestling match. It's a contract signing between Bray and the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Thank goodness I care about these two in the storyline that they are in the story that they are telling. If not, this would have easily been in my top 5 of worst WWE shows ever. Not just SmackDown. Worst WWE shows ever. But luckily, it literally was just kept out of that thanks to Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt. Bray is in the ring. Bray Wyatt is up on the Tron. The Mr. Rogers type of Bray Wyatt character anyway. He's on the Tron. In a Firefly funhouse, so to speak. And Wyatt informs Bryan that he's been advised by his attorney, Mercy the Buzzard, not to come to the ring. But Wyatt says, "You're not facing me Sunday anyway, so it's only fitting that he signs the contract." The lights go out, and when they go on, you got the Fiend in the ring holding on to one end of the strap because it's going to be a strap match. And the Fiend is holding on to that. Daniel Bryan goes to bring the fight to Bray Wyatt, but the Fiend is able to take the strap and use it with the mandible claw onto Bryan. It was pretty badass. And then it goes right into a Sister Abigail. And then he goes over, or no, actually, before he even signs the contract, he takes the strap and he whips him about 4 or 5 times. You could see the marks when the lights went back on. So Wyatt whipped him pretty good. The Fiend then sits down. He takes the pen, and instead of signing the contract, he jabs it into his hand, his glove in his hand. And he puts the blood from the pen, and he uses his blood to sign the contract. I thought that was absolutely brilliant, and that's how you continue a storyline that has already captivated most of us, but that's how you further it along, man. That shows you that the Fiend is willing to go through any lengths and to any lengths to defeat Daniel Bryan Sunday night. I really enjoyed that segment, and that's the only segment that kept this out of being one of the worst shows I have ever seen in WWE history. And again, because it was a go-home show, it was even in a higher standard than I usually would have put it bracket-wise. But if you're going to honestly tell me that you were entertained by this show, if you're going to tell me that this was an acceptable go-home show, I'm going to run this down real quick and you tell me where you saw that. Was it the nonsensical 6-man schmoz match at the top of the show? Or was it Lacey Evans' hoorah speech in the middle of the show? Was it the 17-second Alexa Bliss Mandy Rose tag team match? Was it Braun Strowman singing karaoke and then leading into a nonsensical tag match? What part of it? What part of it? The Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt Fiend 5-minute segment, and maybe Kofi Kingston and John Morrison their match, which was under 10 minutes on a 2-hour SmackDown go-home show. Come on, bro. I need you guys to hold the company to a higher standard. If we don't raise our voices, nothing's going to change. If we keep letting the people that go, if you don't like it, don't watch, or stop being so negative, if we let those people win out and we just go, okay, sorry, this product will just keep getting worse. It's absolutely treacherous. I can't even tell you how. It wasn't just boring. It wasn't just putting me to sleep. Literally several times I almost was put to sleep. But it was frustrating because you're looking at a $1 billion company with so much talent, or should be anyway, and it's doing nothing. It's doing nothing to generate buzz. It's doing nothing to generate interest. The only reason we're excited about Royal Rumble is because it rested on its laurels. Same thing with WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. It's resting on its laurels. The name Royal Rumble. What we used to love about Royal Rumble. That's what's getting us excited. Nothing in the past several years is actually getting us excited for the Rumble. It's just the nostalgia of it. This has got to change fucking quick. Thank you to all the callers that called in at the beginning of this program, the beginning of this show. And thank you to all you guys for hopefully enjoying this. Hopefully you were entertained, and hopefully I made you guys think about things a little bit more, right? It's okay to overanalyze shit sometimes if it's going to make it better. I'll see you guys tomorrow for 2 separate things in one video, actually. I'm going to speak a little bit about When Worlds Collide, which is tonight on the WWE Network, NXT and NXT UK. And then I'm also going to speak about the Royal Rumble preview. It's both going to be in one video. And yeah, we'll have some fun. We're not done for the week yet. Tune in tomorrow morning for another vid right here on the channel. For now, kick this weekend's ass, guys. Amplified style. Ow! Amplified, man, baby. We're going to double dip on some coffee right now. Hopefully you guys do the same. Check you later.